Welcome to Against All Odds podcast. I'm your host, Yris Palmer. For those of you that don't know me, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I am an entrepreneur, a mommy, a fiance. You've probably seen me doing everybody's lashes or investing or just on Instagram, wearing something fashionable or with my cute kids. But I wanted to tell you guys that this is my first episode. I'm so excited. I wanted to start by sharing why I wanted to do this podcast. It's really important for me to inspire those that come from similar circumstances as I did and didn't see a way and just had a dream and kept going. And somehow we made it. We made it to be whatever level of success you are chasing, because I know success looks different for everybody. And I wanted to share a little bit of my story with you guys, actually a lot of my story with you guys. But I thought it was really important for my first episode for you guys to get to know me. I come from immigrant parents from El Salvador, and I've been a hustler my whole life. I am still hustling. But I have reached certain levels of success that I feel like are very inspirational. And I brought in my manager, friend, family, who has started with me from the very beginning, who I spend almost every day speaking to, and I feel like who knows me the best, to ask me questions and for you guys to get to know me better. So let me introduce Desiree, my one and only manager, now friend, family, and I feel like my ride or die, like my little Scorpio ride or die.
I feel like we were meant to be.
Yeah, we fit.
Yeah, we just fit.
Yeah. And she's never getting rid of me.
No, you're one and only.
Yeah. So take us back to the year.
It's so funny because this was when I was in management and I was working at a company and they were like, you have to sign someone. And I was like, okay, who? And I had been watching Yris for like a long time. And you had like probably like 100,000 followers. Yeah, at the time. And you were actually still doing lashes. Like I remember you had your store on Ventura. Like you had all your Star Lash girls. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, there is something about this girl that I feel like is just so much bigger than what she's doing with her lashes and her business. And so I think I like DM'd you or I emailed you. I don't remember exactly. And I was like, hey, like come in for a meeting. And I remember you came in.
And at the time I was like, I've always played multiple roles for myself. Like when I first started Star Lash, like I was playing my own secretary. I'd be like, she's not available. Like I was playing different roles. And I remember at the time I was getting these Instagram deals from like different fashion brands, and I was doing my own deals, like pretending. So when you DM me, I was like, perfect. I needed this.
I remember you had a really horrible hair care deal at the time. And I was like, why is she accepting like this little money for this deal? No, but then we had a meeting and I just feel like it clicked and I feel like it was the right time because you, and we can talk about this on the podcast, but like you're such a visionary, I think, with your own life. And I think you truly have manifested everything that is in front of you today and everything that is to come. And so we had little similarities that kind of came up, like little synchronicities in that meeting. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is meant to be. So we started working together and the rest is history. Now we do everything. Yeah. We start
still
businesses.
Work together.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I feel like you inspire me every day because it's never like enough, and not in a bad way, because I think like as humans, you have to be motivated in order to just like you want to continue to hit new levels in your life. Like there's never just like one level of success. And I think you're the definition of that. And so it's fun. We get to do a lot of cool things together.
Yeah. I feel like, so we're both really into Zodiac signs. So like I'm going to start there. She's Scorpio. And I'm a Taurus.
And we're sister signs.
And we're sister signs. But we're also the true definition of a Scorpio and a Taurus. So like, I feel like I'm such a bull and I'm earth and I'm grounded, and I feel like sometimes like I ground her, but she's very like, Scorpios are crazy. They're so like they push you outside of your comfort zone, and she will do that to me, where sometimes I need that because as a Taurus, we're so comfortable that we're like, we're good. And she's like, no, you're going to do this. Like, and I feel like you know, whether it's PRP and injecting it into my face, you push me to do stuff that I would never do.
It's so funny because everybody asks Iris, like, what lip filler do you do? Like, what? You've done so much to your face. And she actually has done nothing.
I am the scary cat. She will be like, we need to do this. We need to do that. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna hurt. Like the PRP, I mean, it's like a natural. They draw your own blood and they inject it, but like I would never do that. She makes me do. She's like, you need to do this, and I'm like, do I need to do it?
Yeah. So anything that she's tried is all my fault, and it's like, but it's so fun. I love.
And beauty. I've never had lip filler, by the way. Like people don't want to believe that these are my lips. Look at my kids. We all have the exact same lips.
You have the best lips. That's what I've been trying to get for like the last 10 years. So. But maybe I should read. I actually saved some stuff about Tauruses. Okay. I want to see if it's like, if it resonates with you.
Okay.
Okay, so I picked these ones because I feel like these are exactly you. So it says, Taurus's motto in life is live life in the moment. They won't wait for tomorrow to follow their dreams. They know what they want and aren't afraid to go out and get it.
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm going after all of my dreams. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. They put family first, and they would do anything for their loved ones, which is so you.
One thing about Desiree, not to put her business out there, but she has no kids. And she'll blow me up. Like it'll be like 6 a.m. and she starts texting me, and I do not respond until I've dropped off my kids to school. So I feel like those are my work hours, and like she'll be blowing me up, and I'll be like, I'll call you when I drop off the kids.
Yeah, I always know when Iris is gonna call me.
Yeah, like as soon as the last kid's dropped off, then I'm calling her, and I'm like, okay, and then we're on the phone. Like I'm not a phone person. Like I don't really talk on the phone. I'm on the phone with this girl every single day for like multiple hours. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. But we just talk about everything. Okay, this one is really you. They have amazing intuition. Nothing gets past them. Tauruses are people that trust their gut and always seem to make the right decisions, which I feel like that's been really helpful for you when you're investing. And then they are determined. With a practical and pragmatic head on their shoulders, they don't waste time complaining about things they have to do. Instead, they just get on with things.
Yeah.
And then famous Taurus personalities are George Clooney and Adele.
I love Adele.
Yeah. I love George Clooney.
I love George Clooney too. Yeah.
I feel like that was you.
Those are great.
Yeah.
You know, I have a little Zodiac app that I go to. And I was like, why are we so compatible in friendship? I don't know about relationships. Have you ever dated a Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh, but Taurus men and women are totally different.
It's dangerous romantically.
Okay, because I feel like Scorpio women and men are totally different too.
Yeah.
But some of the things that it said why we click, like as a friendship and a girl friendship, we're both loyal as fuck. Neither of us do fake friendships, and I feel like that's us to a T. Even when we're somewhere at an event or something, like if we don't vibe with you, we're not gonna fake the funk or be in your face. It's gonna be like a hi and a bye, right?
Sometimes she has to check my face because I like.
I'll be like, fix your face, like so. And then trust matters to both.
Yeah,
Scorpio guards emotion, and Taurus guards stability. And I feel like that is like truly us. Like for me, it's like like stable. Being stable is very important. And then. I think I already said this, but we're opposite. Like Taurus grounds Scorpio, and Scorpio pushes Taurus out of my comfort zone. And then we have shared values. So I think we both love security, honesty, commitment, and consistency.
And money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. I feel like Tauruses and Scorpios are definitely motivated by money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into it because this is why we're here today. I'm super excited to be here because I think so many people don't know your story. And I think a lot of people are like, what does she do? How does she make money? Like, how did she get to where she is? And so that's what we're going to talk about.
Or I think people forget. I feel like they forget, like, I've put in the grind. I've worked everywhere. Like, they just look at my life now on Instagram and they're like, oh my God, she just woke up and lives this amazing life. And I'm like, babe, I've worked every job that you can probably think of except being a stripper. I've never been a stripper. But like I'm still working and people don't see that because I don't have a 9 to 5 that I'm clocking into, but I have like a 24-hour nonstop that like I'm never checking out of, you know? I feel like being an entrepreneur is harder than like clocking into a 9 to 5 where I'm like, I'm here, I'm out, peace out. You know what I mean? It's like nonstop for us. Like last night we're like at an event, a party, 9 o'clock at night, and we're like playing poker. Midway, you get an email. We're like working. I'm like, how are we working on a Sunday?
And everybody's like, are you guys working? We're
like, yeah.
No, but I think a lot of people think your road to success was a really easy one. And you and I both know it wasn't. So I think let's start from the beginning. You come from an immigrant family. Your parents are from El Salvador. Where did you grow up? And what kind of household did you grow up in? And how did that play into who you are today?
I think like my story, and I always say this, like my story starts with my parents' story, and it starts with El Salvador. And I think that's why like I go so hard to put El Salvador on the map, because it's not talked about enough. I'm clearly like Salvi Queen. I'm going to rep it till I die. And how I grew up was very, very humble beginnings. Like my parents, my dad in particular, like he worked every single day. Like the only thing I remember as a child that I did with my dad together was go to Denny's on a Sunday. Sunday was the only day that he wouldn't work. So every Sunday we would go to Denny's, and it was like my like treat with him, you know? But I saw hard work from like a child. And I never wanted to ask my dad for stuff. So since I was like in elementary school, I feel like the hustler mentality, I was like, I need to make money, you know? So I would tell my dad, like, can you take me to Smart and Final to buy me the box of hot Cheetos? And then I would go to school and I would sell them for $1. We would get them for 25 cents and I would sell them for $1. Then I got to middle school and I was like bedazzling shorts. Then I got to high school, and the minute I turned 15, I was like, I need to get a job. Like because my dad would give me lunch money, like $5 a day. I would save it. I wouldn't eat. And then I would buy new Vans every week because I wanted to have like a matching JanSport, matching Vans. Like I've always been into like fashion and like what I thought was fashion back then, you know, it was like Vans and like a matching bra strap. And like that was my thing. And
wait, a matching bra strap?
Yeah, bra strap in your head. So I'd have you never had that?
No? I don't think we did that.
Oh, but you're from the Bay.
I'm from the Bay. Okay. We had the chokers.
I'm also from LA, born and raised. I grew up on like Santa Monica and Gower. So if you know the area, it's very, very Hispanic world, not the nicest. And it was about 8 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like one thing about Latinos and like, you know, being in a Hispanic household, if your tia needs somewhere to stay, if your tío needs, like, you're just going to be like, come on, and we're just going to sleep on the floor and make it work. So it was like 3 bedrooms in one bedroom, like 3 beds in 1 bedroom. And we would just, I don't know, we would just figure it out. It was like 8 of us. I grew up with like cockroaches and like, I mean, it was like, now that I look back at it and like how my kids are growing up and how I live now, I'm like, wow, it was crazy. Like, you know, but at the time it was so normal for me. Now I see a freaking cockroach or a spider and I'm like going to scream and act like, you know, like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
Back then it was so normal that it's not normal.
This time you are in acting school trying to be an actor. How did you get into lashes?
So I, at the time, was with Ayla's dad, and he lived in London. So I started traveling to London. And I also had never traveled like outside of the country. I'm like 19 at this age. And everybody in London had these lashes. And actually like 2 of his family members had businesses in lashes in London. Oh, wow. So that's where I thought about like, oh, I could do this as a side hustle, like type of thing. And it was actually there that I took my class. I took a class in London. And I was researching everything there, and that's where the idea came up. And when I came back, I was like, I don't know anybody in LA that's doing lashes. Like, I'm going to be that person in LA. So I came back and I just put it all into work.
And how long from when you took the course to when you actually started taking clients? 2 months?
Like, I started taking clients and doing everything within, like a month.
And your business.
But I was really good. Like, even when I took the class, the girl there was like, oh my God, like, have you done this before? And I was like, no, like, I've never done this.
But you've always been good with your hands.
I've always been, that's what I'm saying. I've always been really resourceful. Like, I'm telling you, I was like bedazzling this. I was making cakes. I remember like, for fun, like I would make perverted cakes and they were really, really cool and good, but just like for fun. Like,
I was so impressed when I saw those.
Yeah, I've always been like do it yourself kind of girl, you know? So like I would just for fun though. And naturally, like I never even like thought that like people in the beauty space would make this much money.
Right.
And it really opened my eyes where like beauty is the one thing that women will spend their last money on. It doesn't matter if they don't have it.
I'm a true testament to that.
Everybody wants to look good, especially in Los Angeles. Yeah. Like we're all looking for like what's going to keep us young, hot, and like also like low maintenance. Like lashes, you get your lashes done every 3 weeks, like, and you're like, great. Like I don't need makeup. I feel like I look, you know, like my eyes, I look refreshed. Like so.
What do they say? These are my high maintenance things I do to stay low maintenance. Yeah. Lashes were part of
self-care.
That.
Is like a non-negotiable, especially for me.
But were you able to live off your income from lashing like right away?
Oh my God, yeah. I quit my job. I was like,
wow.
I was making $500-$600 every 2 weeks. I started making that. Like I'll never forget when I went to go when they called me to do Selena Gomez's lashes and I went. I'll never forget that they paid me $500 to do her lashes. I didn't even know how much to charge. I didn't know how, you know. And I remember her assistant at the time, Teresa, was like, this is how much we were paying her last girl, like $600 or whatever. And I was like, no, like I was uncomfortable, you know? I didn't.
There's that imposter syndrome too.
I didn't know. And I remember I got in the car and I was like, I just got paid $500 for 2 hours and I was like, that used to be my whole paycheck in 2 weeks. Yeah. You know, so that really opened up my mind. And as we know, I'm very motivated by money. So I was like, I'm going to make this times a million more. Like I was, you know, and it's crazy what you can really do in the beauty world. Like it's insane.
Yeah. So do you think that you got your work ethic from watching your dad as you were growing up?
100%. Like I know that my work ethic came from my dad, but I also want to say that it also, my mom's situation, my mom never worked when she was with my dad. And then that also inspired me to never want to be like that. Like in the way that like, I don't like asking a man for anything. Like I was always like, why doesn't she work? Like why doesn't, you know, and it's really my dad didn't want her to work because my dad wanted me, like I'm my dad's only child. My dad wanted me to have like home cooked meals and like, so, but like in her defense, like before my dad, because I have an older sister and an older brother, like she worked and figured it out and like, you know, was that person. And then my dad came in and was like trying to give her like a soft life, you know? And I feel like at first it was like, okay, yeah, this is nice. But then I feel like she resented him in a way where like, well, I don't have my own stuff, you know? And I was like, I never want to be that person. So my whole thing, like even with my daughter and I was like, you always have to have your own no matter who you're with. And I think that's so important. God forbid something happens to your husband. Like, how can you take care of your kids? How can you? So that's always been instilled in my head where I'm like, I'm not depending on nobody. I'm depending on me. And it's also the Taurus, like I'm very strong-minded. And I think that all of that has really showed in my work, but also continues to push me where I'm like, I'm not stopping. I do have some friends that are like, no, my dream was always to be a housewife. That was never my dream. Like my dream, and I've said it to even when I got with Troy, and he was playing for the Lakers, and I was like, I'm telling you right now, like I would be miserable if you're looking for a housewife. Like that's never going to be me. Like I would be miserable if I didn't have an outside purpose, you know? And I know that. And
well, people assumed when he was playing overseas that you were just going to move your life over there. And you're like, no, I have to like have a stability.
He asked me too. He said, well, you know, Milan sent me an offer. And I go, you should 100% go. And he goes, would you call me? I go, absolutely not. Like, I can't, you know? I was like, but I will go. I will travel. I love to travel. I will go once a month to see you. But like, no, I have my own boundaries. I have my own dreams. And it's very important for me to keep those things forward and not let it go. You know, because I think like a lot of people don't talk about when you have kids and you get married, you lose yourself, you lose your life, you give up this, you think. And for me, I'm like, I need to have a balance. Like there's no such thing as like an equal balance. Some days I give my mommy role 100% and some days I give it 5%. Like today I'm like, he's doing the drop offs, you know, and I have 2 other, you know, work things to be doing. But it's about like balance and finding the team and being honest about like your needs. Because I think sometimes women, we're like, let me just shut up and make it easy.
We try to do it all. We try to do it all.
Yeah. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your dreams, what were young Iris's dreams? And was there anyone or anything that really inspired you?
My young dreams were I always wanted to have a business, but I didn't know like what kind of business. But like my first dream was actually to be an actress. Like I wanted to be an actress. Like I had done a vision board. I had put like Eva Longoria on there, Eva Mendes, like all the Latinas that you think were like, you know, up there. Like those are the people that I looked up to, like J-Lo, Selena Quintanilla, like all of those were like, okay, I'm going to be one of them. Like, and then I also, because I was born and raised in LA, and I saw so many struggling actors or people move here from Texas, and they were living in their car and they were trying to like book a job to pay for this. I was like, I don't want to be that person either. So like, I never auditioned. I did like a 2-year conservative acting school, in LA, but I had a job, and I was, you know, and once you finish the school, you were able to audition or stuff. I was like, I'll come back to this as a hobby when I have something set. And that's how Star Lash came about, because I was like, I cannot not make money. So then I was like, what business could I do that like I could give me flexible hours where I could audition, where I could do this. And then I kept thinking about lashes, and I was like, nobody in LA like talks about getting their lashes done. At the time it was like J-Lo getting her lashes done and like all of these people, but I was like, no one's talking about where they're going. It was like a hidden like thing. Like we weren't openly talking about all the stuff we were getting done. It's not like nowadays where I feel like people don't gatekeep and they share everything. So I was like, I'm going to be that person. Like
you were the OG.
I'm going to be the celebrity lash artist. And I'm going to build this side hustle, but I'm going to be anonymous in case I suck. So that's how I started it. And then I kept thinking about the name. I'm like, who? And then I was like, how do I even start a business? So Google was my best friend. I Googled how to start a business, and they told me go to GoDaddy and get a domain and do that. And I was just like, and I did everything wrong. Like when I opened the store, I thought all you needed was money. And I didn't know you had to get a permit for the sign. I didn't know you had to get, you know, be ADA compliance. Like I didn't know, and I didn't have somebody helping me. But I always say like the best type of learning is hands-on and like getting thrown in there. And somehow, some way I made a way. I made a name for myself. I was doing everybody's lashes.
Yeah.
Like.
And out of your dad's apartment.
And out of my dad's apartment, okay? Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think about your story all the time, and I think it kind of goes back to your kind of Taurus intuition and instinct, because you saw an opportunity that, like, a lot of people might have overlooked, and was like, okay, like, I'm going to be the best at that. And you also, like, maybe talk about how you got noticed and, like, who the first person
So the first person that actually started liking my pictures. So I was looking at it like, what are people doing? And what am I going to do different? And nobody was posting the before and afters. And I love just like stories. Like I love to hear people's stories of like where they were. How did they become successful? Like I love stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this podcast, was because I want to know like your story. How did you become successful? And like, you know, and your struggles. And like, I love that. So I was like, no one is posting before and after pictures of lashes. Like, show me what your lashes look like before. Some people have no lashes, and show me what they look like after. So what I started doing was all of my pictures were a side by side of before and after. So that caught the attention of Christina Milian. She started liking my pictures, and then I was like, I saw her liking my stuff, and I was like, let me DM her and ask her if I could do her lashes. So I sent her a DM, hey, I saw you're liking my pictures, would love to do your lashes if you're ever interested. She hit me back and she was like, yeah, let's set it up. She was so nice. Mind you, like, I've only been doing lashes for like a month or two. So I'm like super fresh, you know? Like, I'm like, I suck.
Yeah.
So I went to go do her lashes. I take like 2 hours. I'm like nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking so long on this girl's lashes. She was so sweet. Posted me on Instagram, and when she posted me on Instagram, it was like a ripple effect. Then I got a call to do Selena Gomez's lashes, then it was Kylie's lashes, then it was Ariana Grande's then it was a ripple effect. And the thing with me was they all tried me, but they all stayed with me. So I think all of that gave me like credibility, like, okay, so I just became like the person. I mean, I remember looking at my emails, because at the time I used to book everything through this Star Lash email, and I remember when they had posted me, like multiple people, and I would look at my emails and it'd be like 100 emails a day. I'd be like, oh my God. So I went to Home Goods, I got a board, and I put my hours were from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. because my dad normally gets home at like 7 from work. So those are my working hours. And I was just, when I tell you I was doing everybody's lashes, I would not turn down nobody. Like I remember one time they're like, I need an in-house in Chino Hills. That was so dangerous. I drove my ass to Chino Hills to do
whatever it took.
I was not turning down $1. I was like, no. Like I did it for 2 years, like straight by myself, just hustling. I wouldn't even, like, I didn't have a life. I didn't have a social life. Like all I wanted to do was make money. I was going every week to Saks Fifth Avenue and buying a Chanel bag when they were $5,200. And I was like on an all-time high. I was like, when I tell you I was like a lash dealer, like I had so much cash. It was crazy. And then that led me to invest. I always used to think though, like, oh my God, if something happens to my hands, how am I going to continue this money? And I was like, I need to diversify my portfolio. And then that led me to investing in a medical spa. Thank God I did that.
Which is so smart, by the way, because I think when you're making that much money, a lot of people just get lost in the dollar signs. They're like, okay, like I'm just going to keep doing this over and over. But I think what's amazing is that you kind of saw the ceiling there and you realize like I have to find other ways to just amplify this income.
I used to research too, like how many jobs do successful people have? And I remember I read somewhere that like the average successful person has like 6 incomes. And I remember thinking like, okay, what else could I do? You know what I mean? Because my fear was always like running out or like me now, like coming from where I came from. Like I worked like retail jobs where they were paying me like $7, $8 an hour. You know what I mean? My paychecks were like $500 every 2 weeks to now making like $1,500 a day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Especially like, now in an era, you can't just have one job. Like everybody has to have
nowadays especially not. Yeah. But at the time, I also, like I look back now knowing everything that I know in business, I'm like, damn, like I could have done products really quick. I could have done, and I could have sold my business for that. Like now.
Yeah, do you have regrets? Like any regrets looking back?
The way I did certain things. Yes, but only because I didn't have that knowledge and I didn't have parents to guide me, to help me. Like I'm the typical Hispanic daughter that was translating for their parents, that was filling out her school forms. I was putting other people's numbers. So it's like in high school, they were never calling my parents when I would ditch school. They were calling whatever number I put down.
You're
like I've always been scrappy, but that was me. I've never walked a straight line. Like my lines have been super crooked and curved and just trying to figure it out and make a way. And I always say that like one thing about our culture, like our cultura, we will figure it out. Like, and I think like once you come from nothing, like I'm so, so grateful for how I grew up because it's like I always appreciate everything more because I know everything I didn't have. Do you know what I mean? But I'm always like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I could go back down to where I came from. You know what I mean? I'm not going to allow that for myself. But I also think like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, you take risks. So Star Lash was your launching pad, and then maybe talk a little bit about how you got into investing and the opportunity you saw and how that really grew you to where you are now. You're not doing lashes anymore. You're full-time investing. You're an entrepreneur. And now you have some other really exciting projects that people are going to see this year too.
Yeah. So I got a call from one of my business partners now, Sev, and she asked me if I could come do her lashes at this salon in Melrose. So I get there and she's like, where are you working from? And I'm like, I'm working from my dad's house, my dad's apartment in Van Nuys. She's like, why don't you work here and we work together? You bring me some of your celebrity clients and you get to work here. And I was like, yeah, that's great. So nice on Melrose. I'm like, what? This is a dream. Okay. So I start working from there, taking some clients on the weekends, and they had one laser machine. And this machine, they were seeing like so many people a day. My max that I could see was like 7 people a day. Okay. Because it takes like about an hour and a half for lashes. So I was like, I started getting curious about the machine. And I remember I asked her, how much is a laser machine? And she said $100,000. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to save the money. I'm going to save $100,000 cash. And then I'm going to ask her if I can invest in a machine, buying a machine. So once I saved the money, I asked her, have you ever thought about opening like another location? And she was like, not really. And I was like, what if we open one together? Like we'll put up the money in Sherman Oaks. And
so you fully pitched this idea to her?
Fully pitched it. And Seb was so easygoing, was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how I invested in the medical spa. You know, we then brought in like 5 other family members of hers, basically created a team, and we opened 27 locations, and then sold 3 years ago. We sold 70% of the business. And that was my first investment. And during COVID, when a lot of the beauty salons were shutting down because of the regulations, Star Lash was completely full stop closed because we were a storefront, and I had 7 girls working for me at Star Lash. At this point, I had opened my own Star Lash because the location that I had with Sev and Star Lash, I had outgrew the space there, and I was like, I need my own space where I can add more than 7 girls. Okay, so this is how poppin' Star Lash was like. If you just knew anything about beauty, like you were at Star Lash.
It was all over Instagram.
Yeah, it was like
if you were a baddie, you had your little lashes.
Yeah, you had your Star Lashes. Yeah. So I COVID fully messed up my business. Like I lost a lot of the girls then because everybody went independent, you know, and some people wanted me to double dip. They're like, hey, can you pay me cash on the side and still collect, you know how they were collecting like that unemployment and all that. And I was like, no, I can't. And so during that time, what kept me afloat was my other investment, because Sev Laser was considered a medical spa, so we never closed. So then that taught me like, oh damn, I gotta invest in other stuff, you know? And from there, I feel like my entrepreneur side came more. And I think during COVID, I mean, that's when I had signed with you guys, and we really locked into more like influencer deals. And like, so then I had that as like a third income. And then from that, like I had told you, like I want to invest in a lot of female founded businesses. And then I invested, and then I did a podcast with Eva.
Yeah, you did.
Full circle, because a lot of people may not know that you also work with Eva.
Yeah.
And you worked with her for a really long time. So there was a lot of like little moments where I was like, this is so crazy. Like she works with somebody that I've always looked up to. And then you used to tell me little things like, oh my God, you remind me so much of Eva. Or like,
you guys remind me so much of each other.
Which is so funny.
Yeah. And I think that you both really created a lane for yourself. Like you didn't. And in your own avenues, like anyone that told you no, you were like, okay, I'm talking to the wrong person.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so it's exciting to see you guys collaborate now together, because I think that you just are so much more powerful like together as a community.
So like 2020, I was in the Bahamas, and I did for Kylie's birthday. I was on Kylie's birthday trip. And
I remember I was like, you have to be available for this.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I remember like I was really excited to do that podcast with her. And I remember I told Kim, because I was like, oh, I have to go do a podcast like in one of the rooms or whatever. She's like, oh, who are you doing the podcast with? I was like, Eva Longoria. Like I was like, I've always like loved her. Like I've had her on my vision board. So it was so full circle. And the minute we got on the podcast and I connected with her, I felt like I just knew her. Like it was so, she made it so comfortable and so easy. And then she started bringing me into deals, and I invested in, Casa del Sol. And now, I mean, she's literally like, one thing about Eva, she's such a girl's girl, and she really like puts on for her community. And I feel like she wants you to win. And even when we're like at events together, or like they want to take a picture of her, she'll be like, get up, like get in the picture with me. Like she's like, I've never had somebody kind of like pull me up like that. So
she truly lives it. Like she really uplifts those around her.
No, she really, really like puts on for her community. And yeah, she's like one of those that I'm like, I love her.
Yeah. So I feel like at this transition of you going from Star Lash to investing, it was like the perfect timing. How much of your success would you say was attributed to luck or preparation, hard work?
I think it's both. I think you can't, there's no such thing as overnight success, or like anything that sounds too good to be true is. Like, there's no thing as fast cash and fast money. Like, I don't believe in that. I believe like you have to put in the work. But I also believe that like some people are born with a certain luck. Like some people like will find their way. You know what I mean? Like, I do think it's like 10% luck, and I know I'm a lucky person, but how my luck comes is by the people that God places in my life. Like, every time I think like, how am I going to get to this next level of success of where I want to be? He'll drop a Eva. He'll drop somebody that's going to open the doors to my next road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of it is luck. A lot of it is God. Like, my dad never like went to church and stuff like that, but my dad prays every night. My dad prays for me every night. And I always say like, God's hearing my dad's prayers. You know what I mean? Like my dad is always like, oh, like, I'm so happy for you. Like, I continue to pray for you every day. And I think like God truly looks out for me.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that was a reason that was so important for you to tell your story, because your story started arguably when you were a kid selling Cheetos at school. And then really, like, was it 2012 you started Star Lash? 2011?
2013.
But there's no such thing. I think this generation is so quick to finding fast success.
Yes.
And we see that online every single day, but it really, there's no such thing as fast.
No, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're creating a business, you're not going to, some people create the business and they think, this is going to make me X amount in like a month or two. And it's like, no, babe, it might be like 3 years. And then you start seeing, you know, a little bit, but it's like nothing happens overnight. You really have to put in the work. And I think you have to create a good team. Like, it all comes down to your team. And I see that more and more, especially with where we're at now, you know, with negotiations and our team and everything. Like, it comes down to creating a good team.
If there's anybody that's listening to this episode, what's one thing that you would want to leave them with to inspire them, just based off of your story and where you are today?
I think don't look for other people to believe in you. Like, all you need is one person to believe in you, and that one person is you. Because I remember, like, even when I started Star Lash, like, my dad didn't see the vision, my family, like, nobody got it, but I was like, I believe in me, you know? And I think sometimes people are searching for another person to believe in them. And I think it all starts with you. If you have that dream, if you have that mindset and you're willing to put in the work, you're going to get to where I am at, or maybe even further. But I feel like that's my one piece of advice is like, believe in you, put in the work, and like, don't let nobody stop you. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. I think nobody else knows me more than you, truly. Yeah. And I think you have been one of the people that have pushed me, believed in me from the start. And now it's all paying off, babe.
Thanks for having me.
But yeah, I hope that if you're watching this episode, you feel inspired, that you enjoyed it, and that you stay tuned for all the episodes that we have coming up on Against All Odds. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Against All Odds is a Hyphenate Media Group production in partnership with iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more of your favorite shows, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.